Okay.
But to start off, I always have they have a soundboard. So I always do. Wait, was it this one? And I just let that play.
I like it. It's jazzy.
You know? Just let it do its thing. Just make it go.
It's good. It makes me want to bust a move.
So that's the intro.
I love that.
Lulu, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so honored to have you here. Very happy, very grateful. I mean, of course, you had to be. I mean, it's you.
Oh, stop.
Come on. Come on now.
Trey, stop.
Come on now. But I mean, to start off, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I go by Lauren or Lulu, depending on how you know me. I am a screenwriter and novelist, as well as an actor. I am currently completing my senior year at USC.
Heck yeah.
Where I'm going to graduate with a screenwriting major.
Absolutely.
Which is very exciting. And I also do casting, which is my day job right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you get started with acting?
I have been acting since probably like 5 or 6. I started at this program called Up with Kids.
Okay.
Which was essentially like this lady who would take a musical and kind of like make it into her own, so she didn't have to like get the rights to anything.
Okay.
And so the first show that I was in was kind of like a version of Wizard of Oz / Wicked.
Okay.
And I was like a little munchkin, and then the next year that we did Alice in Wonderland, except for I was Cinderella.
Whoa.
It was like a weird, and so like that's what got me into it. It was awesome. And there were always musicals and there was singing involved, and so I think that's what got me into acting, was also being able to sing. Because I love to do that.
So you've done theater? For
sure, yeah. I started at USC as a theater major.
Okay.
And then ended up switching.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Theater or screen acting?
You know, I would have to say, I feel like you would have asked me this question like a year ago, I would have been like screen acting.
Yeah.
But I think I had a revelation earlier that I prefer stage acting.
Okay.
Because of like the rehearsal process.
Yes. Okay.
And I feel like that's what makes me a better actor, is like getting that one-on-one time with your director and getting to rehearse it. Whereas I feel like with screen acting, you know, you have the like one-time rehearsal and then they put the camera on you.
That's fair.
So, and having like an audience as well, I think is also something that I love about theater. So
Yeah.
I think theater I would prefer.
Okay. Do you feel like acting is a priority right now?
I would say right now my priority is screenwriting and casting, but acting I'm bringing up to the forefront.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to start taking more acting classes.
That's fair.
And get into that a little more.
Do you feel like acting first has kind of helped you out when it comes to casting?
100%.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
so?
I think that being able to understand what the actors are going through on the other side has really helped me as a casting director. And I think
cool.
on the opposite version of that, of being an actor and going through those casting calls and experiences with casting directors and knowing, you know, what worked for me as an actor,
Yep.
being able to like present that to the actors that I read.
Of course.
And yeah, I think that had I not done acting, I don't think casting would have even registered for me as something that I like to do or something that I would want to try out. So I think that I would attribute that to my acting.
That's cool. That's cool. Wow. So do you feel like, I mean, have you ever, are you interested in directing?
You know, I directed a short film for my 290 class here, and I did not love it.
Okay.
I had originally was supposed to be the producer, and then we ended up like switching roles, and I directed it, but it just wasn't my forte. I think that I'm so much better writing something and presenting to someone, having them
Yeah.
bring that vision to life.
Okay.
Because I would say that I'm more of a collaborator in that sense.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the one that's like has to do the writing and the acting and the directing.
Absolutely.
You know, all of that. Like, I know there are a lot of people who like to wear all those hats.
Yes.
But that's not me. I want to be able to give you my script and see your vision and then like be able to create from that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. How many projects would you say you've acted in?
Oh, I would say probably like a little over 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like including like
Yes.
short films and stuff like that. Yeah. Probably 20.
Yeah. What was your favorite on-set experience?
I would say my favorite on-set experience was probably the very first weekend of after class.
Okay.
I would say either that or the proof of concept. I think actually the proof of concept was probably like one of my favorite experiences on set. Yeah.
Why so? Why?
I think because that was the first time that I was really, when I was running a set and I just wasn't, you know, it wasn't just me on set for someone else's project. Like, that was my project.
Yes.
So I think that was really exciting. And especially like getting to collaborate with all of my friends in such, you know, a fun way. And it was in my house.
Absolutely.
So I was like, it was basically like I was living that experience, like that world. So it was really exciting.
Absolutely.
I really loved it. Yeah.
Man. No, after class was a wonderful experience. I'm very grateful for that experience. That was the first acting.
That was.
Yeah. That was
oh
the
my
first one.
God.
That started everything.
Wow. I'm so glad that you were a part of that, because truly I think you made that show.
I am very grateful. I feel like acting wise, I didn't know what I was doing. So, I mean, I feel like that kind of started off the journey of wanting to start improving as an actor and start taking it seriously. But it was really cool to be in that environment and seeing behind the scenes, but also seeing how something is actually ran and seeing, you know, how something's actually made. But it was, even the proof of concept, it was really cool. It was, I'm always harsh on myself. So I'm always like, you know, I wish I'd done this or that. Or with that whole experience, I was like, I'm very curious to see how it turns out, because the entire time I was just being so hard on my own performance and just being like, did you do good? Did you actually do good? I mean, the entire time I was like, y'all are going to replace me. For sure, I was like.
Teresa, we never once thought that.
I thought that all. I was like I'm so scared.
No, Trey, because the first time that I saw your tape, or you had come in. I don't even think you taped.
Yeah, I didn't even tape.
You didn't tape.
I didn't have anything.
Yeah, you came in.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, there's just something so natural about this guy that he just makes sense on the screen. Like, it's almost like you didn't even have to try. And you just had such good chemistry with Corey and
cool.
Ripley. I was like, oh my God, of course I have to cast him.
They were hilarious to be with.
And I'm so glad that it kickstarted an acting buzz for you, because I think that you're incredible and want to see you in more things.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
Right now, I think last semester the focus was to do more like production related stuff.
Right.
And so I think it's definitely still in that mindset of, well, my film is in post production, and then another film that I shot for, I think it's being finished right now. I think it's already finished.
Wow. Are you gonna enter a festival circuit?
Yeah, that's for
so
my
exciting.
film. I would like to do that. For the other film, I think they want to do that as well. There's like 3 or so films that are in post production that I had some hand in, whether it be directing or DP. But this semester, it's definitely more DP related things, like a music video or like a recreation. I just did a camera test for like a film for Some Dude Productions that make like zombie films and stuff.
No, I know Some Dude.
Oh
Yeah.
And so we're hopefully able to. We want to do this film and kind of do like a one shot kind of vibe.
Oh my God, I love that.
I'm gonna be like shooting that.
Have you seen The Haunting of Hill House?
I feel like I have.
Okay.
I think.
Before you film this, you should watch. I don't remember what episode it is. I've not seen the show, but there is a like
I think I know
10-minute scene.
About.
Yeah, where it's just one continuous shot.
You know what? Is that show? Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
cool.
I think one take, like the continuous shot.
I love that stuff.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the goal. Never done that before. And it's going to be like maybe 10 to 15 minutes or something like that.
Whoa.
So,
go ahead.
No, I might be lying, but it may be that. But
okay. See, that's what I think is what's fun about acting in like a scene like that is then you have just like 10, 15 minutes of straight acting.
Yeah.
Whereas like usually in film, you have
break
like
it up and everything.
Yeah. And it's usually like 3 minutes and then cut, let's move the camera, do the same thing again.
Yeah.
That's going to be so exciting.
It's going to be a lot of choreography. Be a lot of moving parts. I don't know. Maybe March we're trying to aim to shoot it, but we definitely need to do more rehearsals and just getting comfortable with the gimbal that we're using.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Yeah. But
oh my God.
But there's definitely some projects that I'm trying to get into auditioning more. I'm trying to get into auditioning more.
Good.
I'm getting used to that.
Do you have an agent?
No. Representation? No, not yet.
Not yet.
It's really weird.
It's hard to get representation.
Yeah, representation?
I do, but my rep is based in New Mexico. And I have had him since I lived in Utah. Okay. And so he was like my rep for like the Utah, New Mexico area.
Got you.
But then he started doing like worldwide stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have like an LA agent.
Got you. Mm-hmm. You're trying to go about finding one?
I mean, I would like to. It's really difficult because, you know, it's the referral process.
Yes.
You got to know someone. And even if you do know someone, it's hard for people to feel comfortable to pitch you to their agent.
That's fair.
And so...
okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So I think I'm more in the realm of wanting to make my own short and put it in through the festival circuit and, you know, see if someone bites
connections
there.
And everything.
Yeah.
For sure. Wait, so are you able to get like 2 agents at once or like in different areas?
Yeah, so yes, in different areas, yes, for sure. When I had gotten an LA agent like when I first moved out here, but I'm no longer with them. And I had messaged my current agent from New Mexico and I was like, hey, I have an agent out here, so like it means I have to drop you essentially. And he was like, actually, you can have 2 agents because you have one agent that's representing you in the LA area, and I'm representing you in the New Mexico, Utah area. Yeah. And so, you know, for example, if there's an agency that isn't bi-coastal, like doesn't have like UTA, you know, has offices in LA and New York.
Absolutely.
Say UTA just had offices in LA, you could find another agent in New York.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. And same thing with like Atlanta too. Like you could have your own like Atlanta agent. But when the agencies then represent bi-coastally like UTA, you only have that one because they represent you LA and New York.
Okay. All right. When did you get your first agent?
My very first agent or my current?
Or I guess both.
My very first agent was literally just like a random Utah agency that I like found on the internet. Yeah. And like begged my mom to take me to them so I could like do a little audition. But they were the type of agency that like wanted you to, they would sign you. Yeah. And they wouldn't charge to sign you, which is good. Okay. But they definitely wanted to milk every cent out of you. Yeah. So it was always like, we'll sign you, but you have to take these classes. These classes that are like $2,500.
Okay.
And you're like, well, or they'd say, you need new headshots. You have to do it with our guy who charges $1,000. You know, something like that. You're like, wow. Wow. Yeah. And then from there, I got my current agent through a friend who I was in an old agency with. And she had just switched to this current agent, and because the current agency that I was in was not going under, but they were
transitioning or something?
Yeah, they were shutting down. They just like weren't going to be an agency anymore. So I was like, I had to find a new one. So someone who was just in that current one was like, oh, well, I can hook you up with, you know, my manager. Then I got a manager, and then that manager hooked me up with this agent.
That's fire.
And then now I have this agent. Yeah.
Wait, so you have a manager and an agent?
I don't have the manager anymore because I'm not in Utah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like when I left Utah, I was like, I don't need a manager.
Man.
But I mean, ideally right now I'm focusing on trying to find a literary agent.
Okay.
Someone who will represent like my screenwriting and or my novels, which are like two separate agents actually.
Whoa.
I can't like have like, well, depending on the agency, but you don't really usually have like the same agent for like a screenplay versus a novel.
Wow. And so you're doing one, you want to do both?
Yes.
Yeah?
I do want to do both. I already have some novels written that I'm like, I would love to have an agent be able to like shop around for publication.
Wow.
And then on the other hand, I have like, you know, my screenplays. And I'm like, this would make a good TV show. You want to pitch this to networks and studios?
That is so cool. So New York Times bestseller?
Well, I mean, we have to see if it's published first, right?
New York Times bestseller.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's cool. Wow. So how did you get into screenwriting?
Screenwriting? Honestly, I was always I got into writing when I was in like second grade, and had always done like novels and such. And then I started at USC, and there was the like motion picture script analysis class.
Yes. Yep.
And so I took that, and then I was like, I want to try like screenwriting.
Yeah.
And so I took foundations or fundamentals of screenwriting or foundation screenwriting. I don't remember what it's called. And I just remember like really, really loving it. Yeah. And then when I like took my very first class here on campus, because that was over the COVID.
Yeah.
It was a 4-hour class, and I spent the entire time smiling. And I was like, this is what I need to be doing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's just so much, it's much easier to write a screenplay than a novel, in my opinion. And so I think that's also why I gravitated toward it. Yeah.
It's easier.
I mean, easier in the sense that it's not as like descriptive and as a novel is. Because you're reading it in a sense of like, this is going to be more visual, whereas the book is...
You can't be introspective.
Right. Yeah. Which I think is why I like it, because I find it hard to be introspective sometimes when I'm writing novels. Okay. And I'm like, this doesn't have like the same oomph.
All right.
You know?
That's interesting that you say that. I don't usually do screenwriting at all.
Okay.
And so for my film that I co-directed with a friend, we both was kind of co-writing the script, but for my parts, I think it was like the pages just kept going, and I had people like read over it, and I think the producer was like, "This is great, it's wonderful, but it's just too descriptive. Like there's a lot of fluff." And I was just like, "Oh, okay," but also realizing that like you can't. Sure, I mean obviously it's. Describing is wonderful, but there's a lot of unnecessary details that don't need to be there. Right. Getting straight to the point. And so I was like, oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize that too either when I first started, and was turning in these pages, and my professor was like, this could be like a page long. Yeah. This scene could be a page long. Why is it 3 pages?
Absolutely.
And you're like,
hold on.
Oh, wait a minute.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Man, so novel writing. That is really cool.
Thank you. It's something.
How many do you have written?
I have 2 full-length novels written.
What?
Both of them are like the first in 2 separate series.
That is so cool.
And so, thank you. So I have like the ideas for 2 separate series, and then obviously just like the first novel, and then I'm working on my 3rd one right now.
You are unreal.
Oh, Trey, stop it. Says you.
Wait. So, how many pages are these novels?
They are about, let's see, like, first one is like 340 or something, and then I think the second one is like 420. Oh my God. I think it's like 98,000 words and then like 112,000 words.
How long did either one take you?
One of them, actually, they both took me To write from start to finish, they both took me 3 months.
Okay.
But that's to write them.
Wow.
So like the planning process, for one of them, I did it in a month, which is like crazy. And that novel needs work, obviously. The other one, I spent like a year like working on the ideas and all of that stuff before I wrote it. And then that took 3 months. What? And then I like went through and revised it and everything. And so I think like to the current draft that I have now, it's been like 3 years.
That's so cool.
It's cool, but it's time consuming.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how do you know when you're done?
When I have a finished draft, usually I will go through it and I'll do my own edits. I'll send it to a couple people to read, get their edits, go through, revise it, and then from there I'll like send it out to agents because once an agent picks me up or assigns me, I guess, we kind of go into another draft, which then is like sent to the editors who then do another draft. Yeah. And then from there, that draft is sent to publishers. Okay. So it's like quite a process that I'm like, I have enough of a baseline of like what I want the story to be. And like in like 2 more drafts, it could be published. And that's what I like feel comfortable bringing. So like right now I had a previous draft that I'd been querying and now I'm going through and I'm doing another revision for it. And I think like after this revision, hopefully I'll get an agent and we'll only have to go through like 1, maybe 2 revisions before I can like send it to publishers.
So are you like pitching to literary agents as well right now?
I'm taking a break from querying my novel because the screenwriting cohort or the screenwriting program, does this thing called First Pitch, which I think the production students also have. That, yes. Yeah. And so with First Pitch, I have the opportunity to pitch 3 of my screenplays to like, I think 5 industry professionals, either agents or managers. And then from there, if they're interested, they'll let me know, hey, send me your script. And if they read it and they like it and they sign me, then I, get an agent from there. So because I'm doing those meetings in May, I'm taking a pause on querying my novel because I don't want to, have an sign on to someone before I go to these meetings. Okay. Because you don't want to like already have representation when you're going into a meeting to get representation.
All right. Is First Pitch happening this spring?
I think it happens May 2nd.
May 2nd?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, I'm shitting bricks. Can I say that?
You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
I'm trying to keep my swearing at a minimum.
Good. So First Pitch is May 2nd. And so doesn't the USC like send those emails saying like congratulations to like the finalists and stuff?
That's for like 480s and
you're right.
546, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, those are like the scripts that people send in for those. But First Pitch is a very like I've been in the screenwriting program for like 3 years and I didn't even know that we did this until this semester.
Is it like something that's hidden or what?
It's not even something that's hidden. They just don't really talk about it. I feel like.
Why not?
I'm not sure.
That's weird.
Or maybe I just didn't know. Yeah. And like if I asked anyone else in my cohort, they'd be like, oh no, we knew about this. And it could just be me. But they did. It was very wow. Like they keep it very because they're inviting industry professionals and so they want to keep it as, professional as they can.
What are the genres for both novels?
Of both novels are fantasy.
Yeah.
One of them one of them is a high fantasy and then one of them is like a contemporary like low fantasy.
How do you even go about fantasy? Why first of all, why did you choose both to be fantasy?
I think for me, writing novels, I find that fantasy is what I gravitate towards because it's such a descriptive genre that,
absolutely.
And requires a lot of world building. And that's my favorite part about being a writer is world building. And so I think that with my first novel, it was a high fantasy. So I'd created, you know, this whole entire world and these magic systems.
You're creating your own rules and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I was like, you know, for the second one, I kind of want to do something that's a little more grounded. And so my second novel is set in like 1995 in Vermont, but it's still fantasy because it like has to do with like fallen angels and demons and stuff like that.
How do you go about how do you go about world building? But then also, how do you, I imagine with sinking so much energy into one world or one universe and creating those rules and structures, I feel like that would kind of seep in or kind of influence the next one, if that makes sense.
You know, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find that if there are things that I liked in the old world like in a previous world that I'd created, sometimes I'll bring it in to the new world. And I think same thing with old stories that I've created, you know, and been like, oh, I really liked this idea, but I wasn't able to use it. Or I did use it, I just will never work on this story again. I'll bring it in. But world building for me really starts with like the broad sense of it. So like with my first novel, what I did was like created a map of like what this like continent looked like.
I want to see the map.
I will show you.
I'll
show you
maps.
the map. I'll show you. It was just kind of like literally, I think I need to be looking at it from a broader perspective and then narrow it down when I'm working on worlds, because I find that if I start too small, then it's hard for me to expand from that. Yeah. Which I know is like the opposite of what some other authors do. Whereas I think some authors will have like this one small idea and they'll build off of that. But for me, I'm like, I want to create the world first and then be like, what could happen in this world?
Man. That's so cool. Well, first of all, because I'm like, well, I've always wanted to do fantasy, but I think like having to create something like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, I don't know if I can. I think that's the only reason why I got so intimidated is because reading something like that, where you have to create your own, I don't know, having to imagine classes and having to imagine all the, I don't know, maybe landmarks or an entire world and all that stuff. I feel like the world building, it was too intense. It's like, I don't know if I'm capable of doing that or if I'm imaginative enough to do that. And so I don't know if how I would even go about that, to be honest.
I think it can be a little daunting sometimes, especially when you have novels like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones as these predecessors, and
you're creating everything from scratch.
Exactly. But I think that for me, what I really try to do when I'm world building is think about like how it would be most accessible to other readers, because that's my issue with high fantasy sometimes is that when I'm reading it, I'm so lost
you
on
have
what's
to imagine
happening.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'd say like finding ways to still make it similar to our world is my preferred type of fantasy, because then I'm able to imagine it in a better way. Like, for example, have you read Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi?
No, but I know that exists.
Okay, I'm reading that right now. I'm actually listening to the audiobook of it.
That's cool.
And I'd say that book does a really good job of world building high fantasy, because it does take place in a completely made up country. Yeah. But so much of it is influenced from African culture. That's and like you can see those woven throughout, and I think that makes it easy and more tangible. That's cool. And there's a lot of animals in the book that like they're fantasy animals, and I can tell that, but she uses similar words. So like there's, I think like the lions are called like Liona or something like that. I can't remember. Okay. But so then I know that they have some similarities with lions, but when she describes them as having like horns or something like that, then I can create a visual off of that. Cool. Whereas like with Lord of the Rings, they just tell you it's something, and you're like, what the hell is that?
It's just guaranteed.
Right. And so I think that something like that is a good place to start with world building.
Yeah.
Is focusing on how you can relate it to our world and find similarities.
Trying to root it in realism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I loved The Last of Us so much, and so I was going to I wanted to create my own. I still do. I want to create my own, I guess, universe that's rooted in the exact same things. But I was like, I didn't realize that I have to name all the enemy types. I have to name the different regions, and then also all the characters, all the different classes, and all the different factions and whatnot, which was really cool to do beforehand. But it felt really daunting having to create all of that and then being like, I have to use all of this, or feeling the need to use all of that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I
think I have found difficulty with that as well. Is having this entirely this huge world that I've created and all of these specificities within it, and then writing the novel and being like, well, I didn't even use half of the things that I came up with. And I think that at the end of the day, though, it still is a really big part of the world. And even if you didn't use those things, they're still woven into the world that you've created in some way. Yeah. Even though you don't specifically reference them, they're still there.
Absolutely.
And so I think that trust that you don't have to use all of the everything that you create. And you can come up with all 27 enemy types. But if you only use 3, great. You have 24 others that you can use in the future.
Yeah.
Or drop in random little places.
Yeah. I feel like my only worry would just be that the universe that I'm creating, because it's so influenced by something else, that it would have, or it will start to have these impressions or whatnot that are vaguely similar or extremely similar to what we've already seen or been, I guess,
would this be a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Is that why?
It'd be like a zombie apocalypse. But the enemy types in my mind are kind of based off The Last of Us ones. And I'm like, I feel like it'd be too similar. And so, I mean, that was what I was doing as a kid. So it wasn't really, I don't know if I was really trying to separate it or whatnot. So I feel like if I probably put the time in, I could probably
I think you definitely could.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the best stories are just rewritten.
Yeah, absolutely.
In different ways.
Inspired by other stuff.
Yeah. And, if it's some of them are direct and you can see exactly how one influenced the other.
Absolutely.
But oftentimes it's these people have been telling these stories for centuries.
A long time, yeah.
And so, but you're taking that story and you're putting your own twist into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important part.
I want to see your stories get adapted.
Thank you.
Man.
Me too, man.
That'd be cool as hell.
I will say I am doing a short this summer.
Yeah?
Yes. So I will be adapting at least some little thing.
Hold on a second. Wait, so you're doing a short here in LA?
I am.
Is it already pre-production?
We are in pre-production. We just signed on our director.
Oh my goodness.
Which I'm really excited about. So basically for my thesis for school, I wrote this pilot about a vegetarian chef and who works for this cannibal CEO.
Okay, whoa.
And crazy. And I adapted it into a short, or I guess I condensed it into a short.
Yeah.
And so we are filming that in end of May, beginning of June.
Amazing.
To have something to not only show as kind of a proof of concept, but also I'm going to be acting in it.
Oh my!
So having a little bit of my acting abilities in there.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, that's gonna be awesome.
I'm really excited.
Lulu. This semester, have you been acting in anything?
Nope. I don't live near campus.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to be part of the USC productions and stuff because I really wish I could. Yeah. Because there are a lot that I've been seeing all the ISPs and stuff.
Yeah.
These look so fun, but because I don't live near USC, it's hard for me to make the commute,
Of course.
having to do the commute every single day.
Of course.
And then plus I have my 2 like night classes.
Yeah.
So I haven't been doing a lot of acting. I've been auditioning for things here and there, but mostly I'm focusing on finishing this pilot for first pitch, and then working on like pre-production and stuff for the short.
For casting, so I know it's a casting job. So is it like? Well, I imagine. Well, it's not. Well, in my mind, like a casting director or casting person with USC is, for every particular film, there's a casting person. Mm-hmm. But I'm guessing for your job, you're just like, are you just finding candidates? You're just finding people that could be ideal. Like, I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah. So my situation is a little bit different. So I work for the international talent and casting department at Disney Entertainment Television.
Whoa.
And so we focus on finding these big names in the international sector and bringing them into American projects.
Okay, wow. Okay, cool.
So whether that's, for example, like with The Acolyte, the Star Wars TV show that came out, having the actor from Squid Games come into that.
Yeah.
That's sort of what we do.
That's wonderful. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of watching a lot of international content, going to international film festivals and meeting international agencies and management groups and creating these lists of all of the big names in all these different countries.
Yeah. How'd you find that opportunity?
When I was applying for the job originally, it was for a Hulu casting. I'm an intern. So it was for a Hulu casting intern. And that would be like for all of the like Hulu shows. Usually with studio casting, it's finding like the 5 main characters. Yeah. And then like you don't really do like the smaller roles or anything. Yeah. And so at first that was what I had applied for, and that's what I had gotten the offer for. And then like a week before I started, my boss called and was like, hey, so there's been, a bunch of reshuffling, and I am now going to be heading this international like casting department. Is this still something that you want to be a part of? And I was like, absolutely I do. Are you kidding me? Like, absolutely. And so my first day was actually my boss and my manager's first day as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we are we're 3-person department trying to like build from scratch, basically. So it's definitely very new, but it's so much fun. And I'm so thankful that it's opened my eyes to so many more, so much more talent. Yeah. Because I feel like we, have the same 10 actors and everything in the US. And so it's nice to...
You're branching out.
Yeah, to branch out and see all these new fresh faces that, we can introduce to...
Absolutely.
US audiences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man. Do you want to stay in LA for a while, or would you want to move?
Ideally, I would live in the mountains, on a farm, where I grow my own food and have my own animals.
Away from society.
But that's not the world I live in. So unfortunately, I will be staying in LA for the foreseeable future.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think that the industry seems to be moving in a work from home sort of world. Like, I know a lot of writing jobs are, like 2 weeks in person and then the rest of it is online or, something like that. And so ideally, like, I'd love to be able to live in a different state and work remote. But until that happens, I'm definitely going to be staying in LA. I don't want to go to New York or anything like that.
No?
No.
Why not?
It's too hustle bustle for me.
Too hustle bustle?
I can't. Yeah. I don't like the city.
No?
And so it's already LA's a lot.
Yeah, LA's a lot.
And New York, I don't think I could live. I can manage it. No. I'd be walked on that street. No, are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my God.
Do you want to go back to Utah?
Utah is gorgeous. And I love.
It was the first time I saw snow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you go to Park City?
We went to Salt Lake City. I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, we went to Salt Lake City, and it was first time we saw snow. We was freaking out. Yeah, that was cool.
That's so special.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, Utah's the best snow on earth.
Of course,
we do.
I agree.
I'd say that like I would live in Utah again, but probably not until like I was much older.
Yes.
And in that case, like...
And you've already been established and everything.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I wouldn't want to move there now. Even though the film industry is growing quite a bit in Utah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm, because
I feel that.
I feel like there's a lot more production companies that are opening up and a lot more that they're trying to film there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely popping over there. But it was hard growing up there.
Yeah.
So...
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I feel you. We grew up in Vegas before, so I pretty much just lived in Vegas.
Wow.
Which was, I never have a lot to say about Vegas as positive, just because I'm tired of it.
Right.
But at the same time,
God, I hate Vegas.
You know, I don't like Vegas. But it was where I grew up, and it's where all my memories are.
Mm-hmm.
And then, went to school there, of course, and yeah, just all the families there. And I think our grandparents they want to move here as well, because most of my like closer family are around Vegas or in Nevada. But at the same time, I know for a fact that I would love to be like, if I was successful in the future, be like, Reverend Las Vegas or
you would? Because
I think I would.
I feel the same exact way.
You know what I mean?
Although I'm like, I don't know if I want to live there
right now.
I am gonna rep the hell out of Utah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because like, I don't know, key to the city or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like I can shit on my own city.
I can
shit on it.
You can. I can.
If I hear anyone say anything bad about Utah, I'm like,
chill,
excuse me,
relax.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know it like I do.
Exactly.
Calm down. I'm the same way. I think it'd be cool to, because there's for our family there was always whenever we don't go to the Strip often, but whenever we do, there's always like I feel like there's a kind of a homeless epidemic that's kind of going on. Same thing with LA.
Yeah.
And so I would love for sure to definitely give back and then also make sure that there's either foundations or charities or something, but also I would love to try to resolve that or take part in trying to,
I love that.
Be more of a community.
Well, I think like it's important that if you're going to rep, your city, that you're also going to be given back to it.
Yeah, you got to contribute to it.
Yeah. I think in a similar vein, like Salt Lake City, because it's in the valley, has a lot of air pollution. Yeah. And it's like the air quality is so bad. And so I'd love to find ways to like reduce that or some environmental something, because the air quality in Utah is and the pollution is just so bad because of all the cars and all our factories. Yeah.
Yeah, you get it.
I love that.
You get it. You get it.
Of course.
Let's see. Well, for films, well, I mean, it seems that you acted really young. Mm-hmm. And so do you regret that happening, or do you,
No, I don't regret that happening, because I was definitely the one who was like pushing my family to put me in things, and I was the one begging my mom to be like, can I audition for this? And will you get me an agent? And blah blah blah. And I remember like 2 years in a row probably I was just like begging my family to move to LA.
That's cool.
I was like, I want to be an actor, please. I want to do it. And my mom was like, no, like we have our lives to live too. Like, this is not just about you. And so I think that like my mom really grounded me in reality, because I think like had we moved out to LA and I had actually been like a child actor, I probably wouldn't have been as happy, because I know quite a few child actors who weren't happy being child actors. Yeah. But a lot of those people were also like thrown into it. And not against their will, but like they weren't the ones, begging their parents to take them to auditions and stuff. Yeah. And so I think it depends on the situation, but I think for my situation, I don't regret going into acting so young. But I would say I do regret maybe not prioritizing my writing as much.
Well, I mean, you didn't know that back then.
Yeah. I always just was like, writing's just a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna.
You know, it was a passion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, looking back, like, I think that's where, like, really where, like, my heart was at. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Man, I'm going to see your name both in the credits, but then also both in, of course, New York Times bestselling.
Oh,
and
stop.
then also the Blacklist, of course. Okay.
We'll see.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to see your name everywhere. All right. That's cool.
Says you.
Nah.
I hope I'll see your name DP, directed by.
Well, I'm trying to see your name everywhere. So, you know, it's just.
So we'll see each other's names.
We'll see each other's names.
Yeah. I'll make sure to send you pictures every time I see it. I know him.
No, I'll buy your books. I'll buy your books.
Oh, okay.
I'll buy the whole collection.
Oh, stop.
That's so cool. That's fascinating that like the book thing, because I have gotten so focused on acting in film that as a child, I mean, that was, I think, my first thing that I was always crazy about. I was just like, even though I wanted to originally be an architect as well as a computer science. Yeah,
Wow.
I loved buildings. And so I was like the Burj Khalifa, the Empire State Building. I love structures, man-made structures like bridges and ships. I was obsessed as a child, still am. And so, like,
what made you want to do like film and TV then?
I think during COVID. Well, I think during COVID, but with buildings and maps, I think that just came naturally. I don't know why. I think because of video games. I think that's what happened. I loved looking at video game maps, and so like GTA.
Right.
And,
yes.
I was obsessed with the maps. Every time my dad bought a game, I'd be like, "Can I have the map?" But computer science came with high school. I had a great teacher, Mr. Mann, and he really got me interested in like coding and programming and all that stuff. Again, because of video games, realizing like this is how video games is made. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But I think COVID happened, and for the college application process, just realizing that that I wasn't, if I were to go down the route of computer science and architecture, I probably down the line wouldn't be happy, or like I feel like it'd be more, this is an industry, there's growing jobs, more money, okay.
Yeah.
But is it something that I'm passionate about, or something that I'm happy about? I don't think that was the case.
I see.
And I think it was more, if I had done that, it would be to kind of maybe satisfy other people's interests or other people's, what they want for myself. And so I think I realized that, hey, I'm really passionate about film. I am really passionate about acting. Or I have like a list of my favorite actors, directors, all these different people. And I'm like, why is that? Because I want to be there too. And so I think COVID happened, and I just started realizing that, yeah, I think the route I want to go to is the film industry, regardless of what position or what role. I think that was what I wanted to do.
Have you thought about being part of like the video games industry?
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
I think that like that would really combine
for sure
both of your, your love for.
I wanted to do, I was like, okay, maybe video game programming. I didn't realize how hard that would be. So that's
still programming.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. But I think it'd be cool to be, well, of course, to be a video game actor, to be a voice recorder. Yeah, voice artist. I guess, I feel like that's like the main goal in the back of my head of like, someone like Troy Baker or someone like Noah North and Roger Craig Smith. Like those are the best voiceover. When I hear like motion capture, like actors and stuff, like it's them. And so I think I'm definitely obsessed. Mocap, all that stuff. I love it so much. I'm obsessed.
That. Yeah. I feel like you've also got such an expressive face.
Yeah.
That like, I feel like that's what you need for motion capture.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just kind of looks dull.
You got to be expressive of like your body and like your, yeah, for sure.
Oh, I think you would be such a good motion capture
I really
actor.
want to. I'm obsessed. I'm trying to find any opportunity. There's a workshop that's happening, I think next week or so. And I don't know if it was Taft or if it was another organization or TFC, but there was a group chat and they were like, there's a mocap workshop. I jumped on it. I jumped at it
I
quick.
bet.
So I'm going to be doing it. And I am like,
So cool.
my inner child is like squealing because I'm like, I've never done mocap before. I want to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love,
That's really
I'm a
cool.
little
That's
obsessed.
such a cool opportunity too that USC's doing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a little excited.
Do you have a VO reel?
No, I don't. Oh, I did a podcast or like a horror podcast thing for a friend named Nico. And that was like mainly the only thing I've done. Other things is like auditioning, but I don't feel like I don't think I've had the training. I feel like I definitely will need training for that.
I see.
I haven't had training for acting, but I feel like if I needed training for something, it would have to be VO for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. So you can't do any voices?
I mean, I can.
Let's hear them right now.
No,
What?
no,
Come
no.
on.
It's no, because it's hilarious. But apparently, I do accents all the time, and
So let's hear one.
No.
I'll do one with you. I'll do one with you, so you're not alone.
I just do it naturally. I don't know when I do it. No.
I'm waiting. Okay.
There's the film that I did last semester when I was directing it. One of my crew members apparently told someone else, and they were like, "Does the director? Where is he from? Where does he come from?" And they're like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, he has 4 different accents. He sounds like he's Southern. He sounds like he's European. He sounds."
Is it because you mimic?
I don't know what I do. I think I respond to people. I think it's just at times I just go in and out of like different voices, and I'm just like, I mean, my family, we like to do like Southern accents or like British accents for some reason, but I think I just do it randomly, and I just don't know now.
I do the same thing.
You know?
And I feel like it's really hard too when I'm talking to someone who does have an accent because
Yeah.
I feel like I want to mimic what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not even because I'm like making fun of them
No.
or anything, but truly
I'm just like, I want to do it.
I want to do it. Like I want to sound like you.
I just want to sound like you.
I remember I went to London last year or 2 years ago, and I was at like a pub or whatever, and I couldn't help myself, and I like responded back to this guy in a British accent. He was like, "What do you want to drink?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll have a vodka, please." And he was like, "Let me see your ID." And I don't give him my American ID. I was humiliated. It's like I can simply never.
You
do
got
this again.
exposed. It's okay
Yeah, I know, horrible.
though. Man, how long were you in London?
Only a week.
What was it for?
I spent the summer in Italy. I was an au pair. And so it was a layover that I had. And I just went with my friend. And we just spent a few days actually in London. And then I
What?
went to Italy.
What were you in Italy for?
I was an au pair,
What was that?
which is basically like a live-in nanny. So
What?
I lived at this house. This family had this little like 10-year-old boy. And I just was like their nanny. And so
What?
when they were like at work, I was watching him, like we'd go to his like surfing lessons, and I'd like stay on the beach while he was at his surfing lessons.
What? How did this come about?
It's this program that my mom found actually, called Roam Abroad. And it was a really cool experience because I love to travel, but I really hate to be a tourist. And like go to like touristy places and stuff. Like if I travel somewhere, I want to experience it like I live there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to do an au pair, is because Italy's been on my list for forever. And I was like, but if I go to Italy, I want to live in Italy. I want to experience it like I live there.
Absolutely.
And so I spent like 3 months just living in Tuscany.
Whoa.
Yeah.
These prices are, these are cheap. This program includes living expenses, meals plus private room plus pocket money.
Oh,
It's like $525, $575, $650, $520. This is cheap.
I didn't pay for it. They paid me.
What?
They I was like, it was basically like it was a job. Like I lived there, but then they also gave me like, I don't know, 100 euros a week or something.
I'm sorry, I am.
You should do it.
Okay, because it's like teaching children a skill, teaching
Yeah.
children, tutoring children, nannying,
And like one
babysitting.
of my like things was like to work on
Oh my god,
the little boy's English. And so I like had to always speak in English to him, make sure that he was like using, like correct grammar, pronunciation, stuff like that.
Ooh, this is fascinating. This is crazy. Whoa.
You should do it.
Oh my gosh, I want to.
And it doesn't have to be in Italy. It can be anywhere.
Oh my God.
Like they had some in Australia, they had some in China, I think. They had some in France, I believe.
This is Australia, Italy, Spain, France. Well, when did you... So it was like a summer thing?
This was not last summer, but the summer before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I went for just the summer.
This kind of just blew my mind.
Really? That's so funny. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm keeping that pulled up. That's crazy. Where have you traveled to?
So Italy was my first time off of North America because I'd been to Mexico quite a few times. But it was Italy, London, and then I've also been to Dublin, Finland, and Denmark.
Wow.
Finland and Denmark because when my junior and my senior year of high school, my family hosted foreign exchange students. And so the first one, he was from Denmark. Second one, she was from Finland. And so this past summer, we went and visited, like my family went and visited their families.
Your family's pretty cool.
They really are. They really are.
So y'all were hosting people too?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked because this is things that we've never done. And so it's just like,
yeah,
Vegas is all I know.
That's true. Yep.
That's really cool. Would you ever do hosting?
Yeah. I mean, it obviously was my parents' house. So,
yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
Because my brother is like 3.5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And he's 3.5 years younger than me. So when with these like foreign exchange students were my exact age.
Yeah.
And so that was really exciting.
That's cool.
Because it felt like I had just like, not a twin, but someone who was the exact same age as me that was living with me, kind of like my brother and my sister. And it was a lot of fun. I really, really liked it.
It's like you have more family.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's cool. That's cool as hell.
Thank you. It's my mom. She's she loves to like new opportunities. She loves to help people like in any way that she can. And so obviously like when this opportunity came up, she was like, oh, well, we should do it.
Wow.
We're like, okay, let's do it. Yeah.
That's cool as hell. Wow. Okay.
You should look into it because it was a lot of fun.
Oh man.
And I did spend the entire summer just like working on my book.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay. Man. I'm like, that caught me off guard. That's just a really cool ass opportunity. Wow. Let's see. Well, for grad, because you've already no. I'm being stupid.
No. I graduate in May.
Yeah. We graduate in May. But grad school?
No grad school.
I'm
sick of school. I'm done with it.
That's fair.
I need to move on.
That's fair. No more?
No more.
No, not even for like acting or anything? I feel like you probably already had the training that you needed.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten all that training. So it's at this point I'm like, I'd rather just be in the industry working and growing from that.
Grad for screenwriting or no?
No, because I already am doing the undergrad program. Yeah. And if I went to USC again, it's essentially the same program.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't want to leave LA.
That's fair.
For like NYU or something.
Yeah.
So probably no. Probably not grad school.
Okay.
I was working, seeing what I can do. Do you want to go to grad school?
Yeah, because
here
or NYU. I think NYU has always been a goal. Mm-hmm. But I think grad school, just because I came here for creative writing, and so
no way, I did not know that.
Yeah, my major is creative writing, and my minor is cinematic arts.
Right.
I know.
I cannot believe this whole time. Whoa.
Just,
and you're. I'm not a writer.
No,
what?
No, because we haven't.
Don't lie.
We haven't done. Well, it took until third year for us to do actual fiction writing. But beforehand, it was a lot of like writing about literature and analyzing.
Ugh.
And so I only have like really short stories
or
something, but I don't have like a novel or I don't have anything like that under my belt. So I can't consider myself a writer or such. But also
I would disagree.
but also with screenwriting, I only have like the one script that we did, and so I haven't really done much.
But the fact that you have something that you wrote that's been produced, that is like so much better to have under your belt than just like samples of what you've written.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'd say, if anything, you're ahead of the game.
Fair. Pushing it, but fair. Sure. But yeah, I mean, I came here for creative writing, and so I do feel like I'm often behind everybody else just because everyone, knew that acting was the thing to do or was like their passion. And so they came to USC for that. Whereas I started acting sophomore year and then didn't really start until later. But I haven't gotten any training. And so I feel like I can't.
Yeah, I feel like grad school would be a fun opportunity for you then, for sure.
I would love to do that.
And NYU is an amazing school.
I would love to do NYU.
The School for the Performing Arts there is like incredible.
I did an audition. I applied for auditioning this year, and I did it in January, so that the auditions were in January. And I got
a month ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I did the audition, and they called me back for the same day, or I think it was probably later. But I was like, okay, cool. But you have to memorize 4 monologues and then like a 16-bar song or something.
Oh God.
And the 4th monologue was like a heightened classical kind of piece. And I didn't memorize it. I didn't remember it.
No.
I guess I just kind of stalled and it was just like, yeah, I don't know.
But that happens.
It happens. But definitely self-inflicted. That was on me.
Uh-huh.
And of course, for both the audition and the callback, like one of the first pieces, they were like, could you do the heightened classical one for us?
You're like, damn it.
First time, I don't know how I got through it, but I did. Second time, it was very clear that I didn't know because it was like it was a piece where it's a letter, and so pull it out of an envelope, and I can kind of act like I'm reading. If I didn't know it, I could read off of it.
Oh.
And so I was trying to pull it out of the letter, or I was trying to put it out of the envelope.
No.
And then the papers were switched. So I was trying to put it in. It was just silence for 5-10 seconds as I was trying to do it. I'm just staring off. And then they were just like, yeah, that's good. That's enough. Thank you so much. And then I kind of just laid on the ground for 10 minutes and I was like, I did that to myself.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to note that they called you back.
Yeah.
And this is a learning opportunity. And in the future, you'll go in there, memorize.
Yes.
Knock it out of the park.
Be as prepared as possible. Mm-hmm. But that is what happened. But yes, NYU would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's on the docket.
It's on the docket.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you. But that whole thing kind of raised up a lot of questions in terms of the auditioning process. I'm curious, how do you deal with auditions?
Auditions I feel like they've changed a lot over the years, especially since COVID. I think that before COVID, I think there were before COVID, I had the sides, memorized them. I would walk into an actual room with a casting director.
That's crazy.
But now it's just all self-tapes.
Yeah.
And so I find that very difficult because I like to be in, the room with someone who is working with me.
Yeah.
And also sometimes the casting director will give you notes and you can implement those notes, and it goes to show the type of actor that you are, that you can take notes. And I think
adapt,
that and can adapt. Yeah. And I think that with a self-tape, you can't always see that. And I think the other thing too is that you can't really tell what a person's like on a self-tape versus when they walk in a room / sitting outside waiting to go into the room.
Yeah.
And so I think that the audition process has changed quite a bit. And I would like it to be more like how it was before COVID, where you go into the room.
So you feel like they changed for the worse?
I feel like they did change for the worse, because now, I mean, maybe this is just me, but I feel like I don't like prepare as much as I used to. And I think this could be just like my own doing, and no other actor actually does this. But I find that if I'm not going in and I don't have like literally 2 takes to do this in front of someone, that I can take as much time as I want when I'm doing the self-tape. And at that point, I'm just like, it doesn't have to be memorized. Or like I can have the sides off the screen.
Absolutely.
Or like if I mess up, it's fine. I can just do it again. Whereas like I think that what made me a good actor was when I was able to like be in the room with someone.
I was gonna say that's honestly because with as soon as I see a self-tape, I'm like, oh man. As soon as I see a Zoom kind of or a virtual kind of thing, I'm like, okay, I feel better about it.
Yeah.
I feel good about
it's been
this.
ages since I've had a Zoom audition.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like those are honestly my favorite ones. Or I feel like
those are fine. I can deal with those.
Yeah.
Because at least like you are still like, having a conversation with someone, and you're not necessarily in the room, but you're still present there.
Absolutely.
And I think it's also a lot easier for people to like fit into their schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
But man, self-tape.
I think in-person ones are terrifying.
Really? I'll say I do think they're terrifying.
Yeah.
But I think that like I would prefer it over a Zoom. Only because I think that those nerves usually help me in my audition.
Yeah.
Whereas like with a Zoom audition, I'm not thinking too much about like my nerves and my performance. I'm thinking about, is my Wi-Fi going to cut out right now?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, is my sound working?
You're not present in the moment.
Is their Wi-Fi going to cut out?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to actually see me?
Can they see how I'm acting right now? Yeah.
And so, but I do think that the nerves are a little bit more relaxed in a Zoom because you are in like your own space.
Yes.
And so it's not as heightened,
People say that they use their nerves for their performance. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I think my nerves just kind of just hurt me.
I can see what you mean. I think at the end of the day, it's really important to be like fully prepared if you're going to like be going into these auditions in person.
Yeah.
And then using the nerves, I think, comes from like finding ways to like how your character's feeling, relate that to like how you're feeling. And so like you might be feeling really nervous and like your stomach has butterflies, but if you're doing a romantic scene per se, you can use that feeling and those butterflies as a character thing, and like that's what your character is feeling when he's talking. And so I find that like finding ways to make them a part of the character as opposed to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is what's helpful, because then if I'm just focusing on it as me, then that's when it gets in the way.
Yeah.
If I'm like, oh my God, my mouth is so dry right now, then I'm gonna mess up the lines. Whereas like if I'm like, wow, this character, like the character's mouth is really dry because she's feeling this and this and this.
Yeah.
Then it like bleeds into my performance.
Interesting. I haven't approached it like that. I feel like that's actually really useful. Because I feel like I become way too conscious about everything else. I also feel like I feel like I'm a bit not amateurish, but when I memorizing a script, obviously just like kind of memorizing the lines and then memorizing it with inflections or whatnot, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do this here and yada yada. And then when the nerves happen, and then like I kind of blink out and everything, and when I'm acting, I kind of just do whatever or whatnot, which I feel like is probably more effective still.
Yeah, I'd argue that it's more effective.
That probably is more effective, but also I think it's still, the nerves are still being a detriment just because I'm allowing it to be. And I'm
right.
like,
right. You're allowing it to break in.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah.
So trying to figure it out.
I think that's fair. I think that like, finding ways to harness your nerves is like a way to strengthen your performance.
Yeah.
Instead of, taking you out of the performance.
That's fair. Yeah. But it's a learning process.
It is. It is a learning process. We're all learning.
What is something that you feel like you have not, I would say, achieved yet? Something that you haven't achieved yet.
I'd say something that I haven't achieved that I want to achieve.
Yes.
I'd say publishing a novel.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably one of my biggest goals in life, is to have a published novel. And so that is something that I really am working towards.
Absolutely. What do you feel like is your biggest achievement so far?
I think I would say finding my passion for screenwriting.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of before finding screenwriting, I spent a lot of my time trying to like create this ideal world that I wanted to live in that I didn't necessarily want in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
And so I think that like when I took that first screenwriting class and finally felt like true happiness for what I was doing,
yeah,
I was like, whoa, this is what I need. This is
crazy.
This is crazy. And so I think making that decision to put all my time and energy into writing, specifically screenwriting, is my biggest accomplishment, because I think that I've grown so much as a writer.
Yeah. And
I'm like very, very proud of like the work that I've done.
Yeah.
And so I'd say that, like, have I won awards and stuff for it? Yeah, but I wouldn't say those are the big accomplishments. I'd say it's more like finding that passion, because it's really hard to find. I feel like so many people don't do things that they love.
People go their entire lives maybe not realizing what they're passionate about.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you feel like you are? I feel like you're not, but do you feel like you are maybe awards oriented, or if that's something that you're constantly thinking about?
No. Yeah, I've never been a big, like, I don't even watch award shows.
No?
Like, I'm watching the Oscars tomorrow. This is going to be the first time I'm ever going to see the Oscars.
Are you serious? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, seriously, like, I don't watch award shows. It just doesn't.
Yeah, you don't give off someone that would.
It just doesn't really, matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but I just don't.
You don't put a lot of.
Yeah. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself for it.
That's cool.
And so I know it's like obviously a big part of the industry, but I think that like at the end of the day, I want to know that my work has touched people rather than won accolades.
Yeah.
Because another thing about a lot of award shows and a lot of these accolades is it's a very biased industry.
Of course.
And you know, I think that like it doesn't matter if I've won an award.
It's not a reflection on you.
Yeah, it's not a awards aren't a reflection on you.
No,
it's more so like, did your piece mean something?
Yes, to have something that has a lot of cultural longevity, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to, like, growing up was like, oh, I want to win an Oscar, or like, I want to like win a Grammy or something. Like I was like, I want to have an award. But now I think looking back on that, or like me currently, I'm like, I don't need an award. I would just like people to be able to see my work.
Absolutely.
I just want to be able to like make something and show people and have them relate to it or, you know, enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think before I was entirely too focused on awards. I think now I mean, it's always something I'm conscious about, but I think recently it's been about kind of navigating and kind of overcoming these obstacles of like my confidence in terms of like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And so I feel like for me, it's a big achievement of even being able to feel like I can make a film or I can make a project. And I think that's been really cool this semester or this past year of being like, that's a film I want to make. Okay, I'm going to make it. Or that's a music video or stuff. I want to shoot it. Or feeling confident enough as a DP or stuff and what. It's been really cool having that mindset. But also, I think for sure, I think I do give it a lot of not a lot of. I feel like I give it a lot of priority, or I give it a lot of thought all the time.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think there is anything wrong with that. I think for certain people, it can definitely be about ego.
For sure.
For sure. Yes, for sure, ego. But I think for myself, it's more, it'd be cool to receive something letting me know, hey, you're doing a good job. You're doing a great job.
Fair.
It'd be really cool to, of course, so that's going to be the goal. Like, I want to get an EGOT. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be incredible.
Because if I get an EGOT, then that means that I've been doing different passions. I've been doing different things.
They see you in a bunch of different capacities.
Absolutely. And so that makes me know that I'm doing what I want to do and be kind of multi-talented and stuff. But I for some reason, like, that's also why I realized that I do love acting a lot, because I was obsessed with knowing all the names. I was obsessed with knowing all the award shows and all that stuff. And so I keep on top of everything. I want to know everything that's going on.
So you're watching the Oscars tomorrow?
Oh, of course. Knowing all the award stuff and everything. Yeah.
Right.
I'm obsessed. I don't know why.
Hey, there's nothing. I feel like a lot of people are.
Yeah.
That's the joy of it.
You know?
Yeah. I wish I did have some interest in it, but I just don't.
But I think it's also completely fine. I think it's probably better that you don't have any, interest in it. I feel like also, it's when inevitably you do get awards and stuff, I think it just would be a really cool experience for you. I don't think you need it, but I think it'd be really awesome for you, you know?
Yeah, thanks.
I'm guessing, considering the last question, do you have any, individuals that you kind of look up to, or like role models in terms of acting or whatnot, or maybe even screenwriting as well?
I would say that I don't necessarily have like one person, but I think like female screenwriters in general I really look up to, because I feel like screenwriting is a really male dominated industry. And I I'm always happy that there's a female screenwriter. I'd say that actually I really look up to Diablo Cody.
Okay.
I think that her work is the type of stuff that like I want to be doing as well. And I think that in terms of acting, probably someone like Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Who's like done so many different roles.
Yeah.
And is just incredible.
Absolutely.
And then I think I'd say it's the thing about role models for me is it's hard for me to have a role model if I don't actually like know who they are or have like a personal connection to them.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like I don't love to like put people on these pedestals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if I don't know who they are. And so I find that a lot of like my role models are actually, like my mom or like
people that you know,
my professors, people that like I know that are doing things that like I want to be doing. Or
absolutely.
Acting in ways that I want to be acting.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Do you have a mentor?
I would say that my mentor is my current professor for my thesis class. I have two professors. They've both been incredible, and they've really supported me in a way that I haven't received.
That's wonderful.
In screenwriting before, which has been really, really fun and great. And I think that like that's really helped me grow as an artist.
Absolutely.
Is having someone who wants to see you succeed and win and wants to help you do that.
Yeah.
And then I'd say like also same thing, my manager at work, she's really incredible, and she is constantly like pushing me to do more and wants to see me succeed.
Yeah.
And so, and it's nice to have an older female individual who wants to help you succeed in this industry.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of times the entertainment industry can be very focused on self and bringing yourself up and tearing others down in the process of it.
Stepping on others, yeah.
And so I'm very grateful that like my mentors are people who encourage collaboration and encourage you to, be surrounded by other individuals and not tear each other down and want to help me grow.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel like is your best acting role?
My best acting role?
Yep. Your favorite, yep.
My favorite acting role is I was in this proof of concept for a production company in Utah. Can't really talk about it because I signed an NDA, but it was my first like really big on-set experience, which was really, really cool and exciting. And it was one of the first characters that like I felt like I embodied the best.
That's cool.
I think that I like my type is very like the mean girl role, the one who's edgy and sharp-tongued and stuff like that. And this was the first time that I really got to embrace that.
That's cool.
In a role, which was so fun and exciting. And it took place. We filmed it in a soundstage, but they like created like this wilderness for us to like be part of. It was insane, and it was so much fun. And the director, I think it was the director who I worked with that really made it incredible. His name is Jeffrey Hunt. He just made the project so fun. Like we only shot for 2 days, but it felt like we had been shooting for like 6 months together.
That's awesome.
So I'd say that one was my favorite, and hopefully it will get greenlit at some point, and you'll get to see it because it really was a cool concept. And
do you know when was that shot?
It was shot in October of 2023.
2023.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So it's been a little over a year.
A movie or a TV show?
It would be a TV show, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know.
That would
Can't
be
remember.
cool.
It would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Man.
So probably that was my favorite thing that I've shot.
But I mean, what are your favorite movies?
Letterboxd top 4. Here we go.
I want to hear it.
You can't laugh.
I'm not gonna laugh. No.
My favorite movie of all time is Avatar.
Okay.
The James Cameron one.
Okay.
My second favorite movie is Catching Fire.
Hunger Games?
Yep.
Okay.
Then Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
The third
Be proud.
prequel Star Wars.
Okay. Be proud.
And the fourth one is Suicide Squad.
Which one?
Not the Suicide Squad, the one that came out before.
Wait, what?
The one that came out.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
I know.
Wait. Hold on.
Wait,
hold on. You liked Suicide Squad before, not the Suicide Squad.
Correct.
You like Suicide Squad.
Correct. Yes, the one with Margot
Will
Robbie,
Smith
Will Smith.
Whoa.
Yes.
You may be the first person I have ever met in my life.
I know.
That likes that one over the. Okay,
I know.
Well, I gotta hear why.
Okay. So the reason why I think is because I hyped it up so much for myself, because Harley Quinn is my favorite, like, fictional character probably ever. I love her, and I grew up watching the animated Batman series.
Okay, cool.
Which is where she was first introduced. And so I just fell in love with her. And then when I heard that they were doing Suicide Squad, it was going to be the first time that Harley Quinn was going to be in like adapted. A live action.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, holy shit, this is going to be incredible. And so I was so excited for it. I watched it in theaters. Mm-hmm. The like Warner Brothers logo came up or whatever, and I started crying.
Wow,
humiliating.
No.
And I think that like because it was the first time that I got to see Harley Quinn live action, that I really liked that movie.
Yeah.
Because I've been her for like 5 different Halloweens.
That's cool.
I love her.
You love Harley Quinn.
And I think like the second Suicide Squad, or I guess the Suicide Squad, I don't know what it was about it. I didn't not like it.
I mean, it was a whole different cast.
It was like, it did still have like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't like
right. And so I think that like, because I'd like hyped it up. So I will say though, I haven't seen Suicide Squad probably in like 4 years.
Okay.
Like it's been quite a while.
Okay.
And so there is a world in which I switch that with Twilight.
What in a fascinating top 4.
Which is crazy because yeah.
So, I mean, the Suicide Squad, I watched that film and I was like, I love this. This is amazing.
Really?
I was like, James Gunn directed this in a way that was just like, I was fascinated. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, I'm not a huge fan of DC, but I was like, this is hype. This is awesome. The original one, I was like, oh, okay, all right. I didn't think it was the worst thing on earth. A lot of people are really harsh in that film, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I will say, I think the other reason why I loved it so much is because it had all of like my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Like I love Viola Davis.
Yeah.
And I really like Will Smith.
Me too.
And I really like Margot Robbie. Like it was a stacked cast.
Yeah.
And so of course
I'm not gonna hate on it.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah, but I know they're questionable.
Yeah.
I know they're questionable.
Revenge of the Sith. I haven't watched any of the Star Wars films.
Ever in your life?
No. I watched The Force Awakens.
Oh.
And
my God.
I've seen parts of the last 2, which probably isn't saying a lot because a lot of people hate the last 2.
I liked them.
Fair enough. I do love Rogue One. I think Rogue One is probably my favorite Star Wars movie.
I would say that it's a really close tie between Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One because I don't cry in movies a lot, but Rogue One made me cry.
Yes, that was wild.
Suicide Squad obviously made me cry, but
fair enough.
Different reasons. But yeah, Rogue One is just, it's beautiful.
I feel like if I watch the other Star Wars films, I think Rogue One is still probably going to be my favorite.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your second one is which one again?
Catching Fire.
Catching Fire.
That's my favorite book. So
that's
I think like being able to watch the movie was really exciting for me.
Did you read all the books before?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. I was a huge Hunger Games fan.
Same.
Huge.
Yep.
I watched Catching Fire, I think, like 7 times in theaters.
Yeah. That's fire.
Yeah. It was just like, I loved it.
I read Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner.
Yep. The author of Maze Runner lives in Utah?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Isn't that cool?
Very talented. All those young adult novels, I was just kind of feasting on them. Like that was just my childhood.
God, I love a dystopian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think The Giver is another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those definitely are the reason why I was like, I want to be a writer. I want to create my own.
Me too.
Exactly.
Me too. Was reading The Hunger Games and being like, whoa, I want to create this world.
Yeah.
But like literally every idea I had created in the first like 5 years after reading The Hunger Games was basically just The Hunger Games. It was kind of
just The Hunger Games.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know how cool it'd be to kind of create your own novel and then have it be adapted and also to...
The dream.
Yeah.
The dream.
And then just to have the cultural influence that it's had.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Don't get me started.
And the 5th book is coming out.
Yes.
Yep. I've already pre-ordered it.
I haven't read the 4th book.
You haven't?
I know, and I watched the film. I think I was avoiding putting off the film because I was like, it's not the original, you know.
Listen, I've got things to say. I've got things to say about it that won't be said. But the book was good. It was really long though. And I would put it at the bottom of the list.
One, yeah.
But I am excited for Sunrise on the Reaping because Haymitch is like one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And so I think
Haymitch
that's the thing about the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is that I didn't have an interest in like knowing President Snow's story.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I completely understand that.
Yeah. Whereas Haymitch, I'm like, and I have such, I love the idea of the quarter quells.
Yeah.
And I think that the idea of Haymitch's quarter quells, especially because there was double the tributes, is just so crazy.
And also considering that we never see that type of, we don't see that from Haymitch at all in the original ones.
No.
So it's kind of fascinating to see him in that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Also see, you know, kind of like this descent into madness.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's, yeah. But even I actually really loved the Songbirds. I really loved it.
It was a good movie.
I thought it was fantastic. I was like, I don't think they're going to reach the heights that the original movies made. And I was like, I think it kind of got close to doing that.
Oh.
If not, I think it did actually. I was like, this is a really good adaptation, which made me want to read the book. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you should definitely read Sunrise on the Reaping before you watch the movie, which I think is coming out like 2026 or something.
Yeah, I think I need to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not even out yet. I think it comes out this month.
The book? Oh, the book.
The book.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to order it. I have to read it.
Pre-order. Yeah.
And then your first one was what again?
Avatar.
That's interesting. It's not me judging. Avatar is a great movie. I have not seen it in a long time.
Fair.
I think I may have watched that once or twice. That's not a movie that I've seen several times.
It's I think the reason that I love it so much is visually it's just a stunning world.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that's obviously really important to me is
the
world of something. And so I think that like Pandora in and of itself is really, really cool. And in the extended version, the director's cut, you see a little bit more of Earth before they like go to Pandora. And I think that was also really cool to me.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that I really do like it is because I feel like in a way it's a story about learning to love nature again. Mm-hmm. And I think that like we as a society are moving away from that.
Yes, we are.
And really like focusing on like robots and AI and stuff like that instead of like taking in the beauty of the world and working in tandem with it. And I think that that's something that Avatar really showcases is like how the Na'vi people use their surroundings and their world and they work in harmony with it.
Yeah.
And I really love that like Jake's character gets to come into that world and become someone who respects that type of way of living.
Absolutely.
After coming from like someone who was like planning on, tearing down the tree and, just doing this for the military sort of thing. It's like he's starting to understand the impact of it and also having those influences of nature. And I think that's just like what I love about it.
What did you think of Way of Water?
I really, really loved Way of Water because I think because it was the first like Avatar movie in, a decade.
Yeah.
After I've loved this movie since I first watched it. I think that it had a lot of callbacks to the original film. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much like the same film.
Yeah.
So I think I really loved that part. But, and I also loved the aspect of like traversing a new world in it. And I think like this third one that's coming out, I think is Fire and Ash, I believe.
It's Fire or something, yeah.
Yeah. I've looked at a few of the like stills
it looks cool.
for that. It looks amazing. It looks
fascinating.
And I just think it's just like, I just think that it does a great job of bringing harmony between people and nature.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's a really important thing.
Absolutely.
In this day and age, and especially like something that like I know that I want to be promoting in my work is like kind of this like relationship between man and nature. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I really love about Avatar.
That's cool. I haven't seen The Way of Water, but I've heard nothing but really positive things, which is very much a surprise because I did not think that it would reach the heights that the first one did.
I know. I wasn't
shocked.
expecting it to.
I was shocked.
Dare I say, well, in my Letterboxd review, I said, dare I say this is better than the first, but
Yeah,
I'd have to watch it again too.
I'll watch it again back to back. I didn't.
Yeah, watch it back to back. Good
I'll watch
idea.
it back to back. I definitely didn't think that. I thought James was definitely making a gamble that was not going to work, and for it to become rapidly successful, and probably even more popular than the first one, I was like, well, okay, all right, chill. But I'm excited for the third one. I'll make sure to watch the second one. I honestly, at this point, I'm all in. I'm like, honestly, I hope he keeps making the films. I hope they keep becoming successful. Because
Me too.
Taking that bet on yourself.
That would be like my dream, role.
Yeah.
Is to be a Navi.
That would be cool.
Oh my God.
Whoa, that'd be kind of awesome.
Right?
He's making 6 of them. So
I know, but I think they just finished filming the 4th.
Oh wow.
So
okay, so they're going.
And they're about yeah.
It's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. Anya Taylor-Joy just talked about how she wanted to be a Navi. I was like, oh,
damn,
she's gonna be in that 5th movie for sure. Then that 5th or 6th movie for sure.
You never know.
You do. You do never know. You do never know.
Just put it out there. Okay, Twilight.
How can you not love it?
I'll have you know that Breaking Dawn, I read that in 24 hours.
24 hours?
Yes.
Whoa.
I read that for the entirety of a day.
That's crazy.
I
haven't even read it.
I've read all of the books.
I've only read the first one. Oh, I feel like a fake fan now.
Come on.
I know.
You have not read a single of the books besides the first one?
I know.
Lulu.
I wasn't allowed to growing up. I wasn't allowed to.
Okay. I won't. Okay.
Which is crazy.
That is
because
crazy.
my mom was always like, you can't read it or watch it because like it's all about how she wants to have sex with this guy, which is true.
It's true, but it's a very crazy,
right?
Kind of just like, reduce the story to wow.
I know. My God.
My parents was like, I can't watch Adventure Time or regular show because this is inappropriate. So I was like, okay,
what?
All right,
that's crazy.
But Twilight, I'm not a hater at all. I'm a huge fan.
Okay, good.
I'm the biggest fan. The 4th Breaking Dawn, I love that. The movies, I watched Breaking Dawn Part 2 probably like 4 or 5 times.
I just watched it for the first time like 3 years ago.
Oh,
Because I had pirated all the movies.
As you should.
And when I'd pirated Breaking Dawn Part 2, it was only the first half.
Oh.
Of part 2.
Right.
So I'd only watched the first half.
What?
Right before they get to the battle. I'd never seen the battle.
What?
Right?
You never tried to watch the second part?
Because it just like the pirate thing, it just didn't work. And so then I was like, whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter. So then finally I watched it and I remember just like the absolute shock.
Crazy.
I wish I could have experienced it in theaters.
I wish I could have experienced it in real time with other people.
You know they're bringing back the Hunger Games in theaters?
No, I didn't know that.
I think for like right after the Sunrise on the Reaping comes out.
I think
maybe I'm making it up.
I'm trying to remember which of the young adult films I watched. I think we watched Maze Runner in theater.
So good.
I'm trying to. I wonder if we watched Insurgent in theater.
I definitely watched. Did you watch Divergent in theaters?
I wonder. I feel like we may have. I think we did.
I definitely did because I cried during that one as well.
You cried during that one as well?
Yeah. I cried at the part when Dauntless comes through and like is killing all the abnegation people.
Okay.
I started sobbing. My grandma leans over. She goes, "This is just a movie." I was
it's not just a movie to me.
It's not just a movie.
It's not just a movie to me.
No, literally.
Divergent was awesome. Insurgent was cool.
I have not seen Allegiant. No, they didn't even make a movie, did they?
They made a movie.
They did?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh.
And the book sucked. The book was horrible.
I didn't read the book. Oh.
Should I spoil it for you or no?
I know what happens.
Okay, you know what happens.
Yeah,
all right, cool. Yeah. That's why the book sucked, and that's why the movie I didn't really care about watching it. I was like,
that's fair.
And plus, no one else watched it because it was trash.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So well, yeah, I could get into these. I feel like the best ones out of that. Yeah, Hunger Games is probably first. Maze Runner is very much a close second. I think Maze Runner killed it with all of their films.
For sure.
Yeah.
The first Maze Runner especially.
Absolutely.
Like that movie just
what a great
was
adaptation.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was awesome. You know what? You have a very interesting top 4, but there's no judgment from me.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I feel like a lot of people are usually judgy.
No, your top
They're
four
like,
should be,
wow, those are crazy.
No,
top
it should
four.
be films that you enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Completely up to you.
Thank you.
I'm very curious. Are we going to see you direct, act, and write a film one day? All three.
All three?
Yep.
The chances are slim.
Why?
But they're not zero.
Okay. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Okay. The chances are slim, but not zero. So be on the lookout.
Well, I know you said, directing is just not something that's, yeah.
I just don't think I have that eye.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like it's such a specific eye that you have to have. And like, I don't understand lighting and camera positions and like close-ups versus medium shot. Like, I don't get any of that, especially in like the editing process. Like
Would you ever want to write for a TV show?
Yes, ideally, that's what I would like to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think? What genre would be?
Probably like hour-long dramas in the like thriller sector.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something like Hannibal,
Ooh.
Killing Eve.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Pretty Little Liars, low key.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Wow. Very curious what your worst on-set experience has been.
My worst on-set experience?
Absolutely. You don't have to say the name, the production.
I would say one of the very last days shooting this project, my brother was in town.
Yeah.
And he was super sick that morning, and we had to walk to set, and he was like throwing up on the way to set. And at the same time, like, I wasn't really on speaking terms with like some of the other people that were crew.
Yeah.
And so it was a very weird experience because it was like one of the last days of shooting.
Yeah.
And there was like, I feel like all these things happening at once, but I feel like that was just the worst day because of like, there was just like everything was going wrong. It felt like
way too many variables.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. What do you how do you feel that you've grown as an actor? How do you feel that you've grown as a screenwriter? How do you feel you've grown as a person?
I feel like I've really grown in terms of looking past myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when I first started at USC, I was really focused on what I could be doing and how I would be. It was just like I. And so now I feel like I welcome a lot more collaboration, and I like to work with other people. Absolutely. And, help other people make their projects come to life. And I think I've also, it's shown me how to, like the type of set or the type of crew that I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And like what aspects of those I want
Absolutely.
for my team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is fair. I feel like very grateful to have been on a couple of sets. I think I've definitely learned that I want to make sure that everyone, there definitely feels like they're contributing. Everyone definitely feels like
I think that's very important.
Yeah, a part of the team. Whereas obviously I can be kind of focused on doing one thing or another, but it's always the most positive atmosphere where it's completely, it's a safe space for everybody.
Yeah.
And plus, if you have any ideas for how this production or how the project itself could be better, I want you to feel safe enough to pitch that to even the director. Just come up to him and just be like,
yeah,
I have an idea for you. Why not? Why
I
can't
love
we do
that.
this? That'd be cool.
It would.
That'd be
it
awesome.
would. I feel like that's the ideal set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's a collaboration that you'd like to, what's a collaboration you would want to happen in the future?
I would...
Had any connection you wanted.
I would absolutely die for the opportunity to create a TV show based on, or like a reboot of the X-Men franchise.
Oh, wow.
Because I love X-Men. And and I think the movies were great, but I think the comics are better. Mm-hmm. And I think that like it deserves an adaptation like The Boys.
It deserves a faithful one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to work on, I would love to create an X-Men reboot in the same style as The Boys.
That's cool. That's really cool. Wow. Have you watched X-Men 97?
I have not yet.
I haven't too, but
because I'm not a big animation person.
No?
No. So it's really hard for me to watch animated stuff now, like as an adult. It just like, I'd rather see live action.
Okay.
Because I feel like I can relate to those people more.
That's fair. I think X-Men 97, I think you should check it out.
But I've heard good
yeah,
things.
I've heard amazing things about that series.
I'll check it out.
I've heard it's very, very faithful.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
good to know. I will check it out.
What else am I thinking? I mean, we know how talented you are.
We've covered quite a bit. We have covered quite a lot. I mean, we've been chatting for almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying. These podcasts, I'm so grateful for this because it's been a really cool opportunity to talk to a lot of people that I love and that a lot of people that I'm very grateful to have worked with.
Yeah.
And then just, I probably haven't seen a lot of these people all the time.
No, so true. I haven't seen you in ages.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's just cool to just sit down and just be like, what's going on in your life? What are you up to? What are you doing? And just, right, because, seeing you guys create from afar, and it's just like, I'm glad they're doing great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so sweet.
And I didn't know about any of the screenwriting stuff. I didn't know the novel writing and all that was so big for you. I had no clue.
Yeah, true. Because when we had first met, I think I was still in the acting department.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was in your wheelhouse. That's pretty freaking cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Oh man. I mean, USC. Do you feel like you'd be where you are if you wasn't at USC?
No.
No?
No. I think that USC has done an incredible job of helping me become the artist that I am.
Yeah.
And I think that like without it, I don't think I'd be the person that I am today.
No.
I think that not only did it help me discover my passion for screenwriting, but I think it also introduced me to a lot of like important people in my life.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I think that like had I don't know, stayed in Utah, or I also considered going to like New York Film Academy.
Okay, cool.
If I had done things like that, I don't think I would enjoy the person that I would have become.
Interesting. You don't think you would have discovered your passion at all?
If I had stayed in Utah, definitely not. No. But I'm sure I would have discovered it had I come out here at some point, but it's just not the same. Like I feel like, I don't know. There was something about the like having a normal college experience that was really important to me.
Yes.
And I think that like that was able to, because it was also important to me to like surround myself with people that aren't in the industry, people that don't want to be in the entertainment industry, because I want to like feel like I'm still part of reality in a way, you know? And so I think that like had I not gone to USC, that wouldn't have been much of an opportunity, I guess.
Okay.
So I'd say, it was a very beneficial part of my life. Would you agree? Would you say that USC has changed you for the better?
I think it's changed me for the better. I think there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of things that have opened up to myself that I don't think I would have, I never would have imagined. I never would have thought that was a possibility. There's a lot of things I've been able to take part of it. Take part in that. I'm also just like, how did that even happen?
Right.
What?
Right.
But I mean, obviously, I'm always curious what would have been like to have been in NYU? What would it have been like to be
of course
in a different school? And also, what would it be like to be in a different school and not be doing acting or film, and to be doing writing still, or to be doing literally any other thing? But I think it's cool that USC has put me in a mindset, and I've also been able to work with so many creative and ambitious individuals that I now know what's possible, and I now know what can be achieved, to the point where I'm like, okay, that's a goal. That's something I can work towards. Where, I don't know, working with this particular company, or working on that particular company, or this industry could be something I want to do, whether it be fashion or music or something. That's something that's possible, because I know those people in those.
Yeah.
You know, so I
so
think
true.
That'd be kind of cool. But I think USC has definitely opened a lot of doors that
100%
invaluable. You know,
100%. Yeah.
I guess my last question would be, are we going to see After Class anytime soon? Just curious.
Question of the century.
Curious, you know?
Yes, we are going to be seeing After Class soon. It is on its I think we're on the 6th episode, finishing up coloring. And we have like, I think a couple more, what's it called? Not ad lib.
Like dialogue and stuff?
What do you call it when you put the dialogue over the
overlay?
No. When you go into
ADR?
ADR. Yeah, I cannot think of that word. We have a few more like ADR things to put in and finish the coloring on episode 6, but after that then yes, it'll be going on YouTube.
When do we film that?
When did we film that?
Yeah.
Too long ago. We filmed it in 2021. August of 2021. No. August of 2022.
22.
Excuse me. Yes.
Whoa.
August of 2022. But
it does feel like 2021.
Yes, it does. But keep in mind that we essentially filmed a movie. It's like 6 episodes that are like 10 minutes long, basically. I was going to say,
the fact you guys, like, that's pretty much, regardless of how long it took, like, that was an achievement that what you guys accomplished.
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy what you guys.
I know. And I really thank you for being so patient, because I know it's been quite a long post-production timeline, and we ran into a lot of trouble. Like,
it happened.
The drive broke, and like we lost a lot of footage. Like, it was a whole thing. And so it's been quite the ordeal, but we're finally getting to the end.
Like I said, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that that miniseries gave me, and then also the connections that rose up out of that. And I agree. You know, I just all the props to y'all for filming that. All the props to y'all.
Man, we did our best.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
I hope so.
It's gonna be great. Lulu, you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Trey.
Thank you. Come on, you had to be here.
No, but thank you so much for having me here. It's been such a pleasure.
It's an honor to have you on.
Thank you.
You was talking for an hour and 53.
53. Wow.
It didn't feel like it.
No, it didn't. Whew.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's it.